So there's a number of topics we need to take care of today, as we promised. And the first one is to compare what we are today with the Industrial Revolution. And I will make an argument that the transformation we are in the midst of is more dramatic and I would say more challenging than the Industrial Revolution. Today's agenda will start with 1825, the Industrial Revolution changed everything, and 2025, AI promising to change everything again. And the question is education ready? And I will even ask the question in a big wider format, are we ready for this as humanity? And I'll try to answer that question during my presentation. After that, I will have one of my colleagues from Silicon Valley joining us. His name is Rikard Steiber. He's the CEO of a company called Smart Reality or Brainy. Rikard has run as director for marketing for Google for many years. He was also the CEO of a company called Vive. Familiar with Vive, is the second producer in the world of headsets. And he was also the CEO of a company that is the biggest Netflix competitor in Europe. So he's a fellow Swede like me. So you'll get a little bit of his perspective of how this technology will influence the business to consumer, the individual. After this, we'll have a moderated discussion and live Q&A. So please sharpen your pens on your questions. There will be an opportunity for you to ask questions, and we'll also take questions from the international audience. And we will also see a little bit of the technology live, so action, basically. We have a lot of surprises for you that have seen EON before, exciting product releases that I will be able to share with you. And with that, I want to go back to what EON does and what our mantra is and has been for 25 years. So fundamentally, we believe knowledge is a human right. And we want to make this type of experiential learning available, accessible, and affordable for everybody. I call it Human 2.0. Today, we all have this. 7 billion of us, and I can make a bet that all of you in this room have a mobile phone. We already have given up 30% of our cortex resides in this. But this is just the beginning. Once we reach something like Human 2.0, if I take this away from you, you probably will undergo a psychosis. It's gonna be indispensable. So I would like to talk about that journey. Now, obviously, we are a small company, although we are the leader in this field. So we can tackle all the questions. We focus on one thing and one thing only: knowledge transfer. Learning, training, and performing. What you did right, and how we can help organizations, schools, companies, governments to do just that. So let's be very specific. What does that entail? So we can take any book that you can think of, and in fact, I'll demonstrate that, and I can convert that book into an immersive experience, an experience that you can see the book here, that has a 3D environment, has an avatar, and can show you and tell you things about that topic, guide you and assist you through a number of steps. So that's what we call learn, but we can also do very practical things. My background is simulators. I used to build simulator for defense and other purposes, and the entry ticket was $50 million. Aerospace has used this for 30 years plus, or 50 years in some cases. So my idea is, how do we take that simulator for an aircraft and shrink it for a simulator for your brake pads?
Welcome to the engagement space. The space helps you connect with the lesson topic through suggested questions. To remove the caliper during the brake process, follow the steps. 1. Locate the caliper.
So the idea is that it's gonna take you through a demonstration phase and show you step by step what you need to do, and then it's up to you to do it. And then after you do it, it's gonna watch every step you do, every step you make, and give you what you did right and what you did wrong and what you could have done instead. So we are tracking everything you do. Okay, so then you learn, you train, but eventually you do this for a purpose, right? You want to perform, and eventually you're going to end up in the real reality, and you may not remember 5 years later what were the steps, what did you need to do, and that's when perform comes in. So you can use your phone, swipe your phone. Let's say this is a nuclear power plant, and I have to do a shutdown procedure. There's 54 steps, I don't remember them. So the avatar will jump in, show me, tell me, guide me, and assist me through that process. And most people think about this in glasses, but you don't need glasses. Okay. So this sounds very theoretical, so and a little bit glossy. So why don't we do something concrete? Let's do something. So let's right now, right here, do a course together. We'll start with that. And I need volunteers to let me know what we should create. Any ideas? Anything? Avionics. So what? It's too broad. So let's start avionics. I like that. Okay, avionics. Okay, so what is it we're gonna see? 4 things. We're gonna see the lecture. We're gonna see the engagement. We're gonna see the assessment. We're gonna see a skill simulator of avionics. And last, we're gonna be evaluated.
You're in edit mode for introduction to avionics systems.
Okay, so she's here. Let me just see. So I have my avionics system.
I'm your AI guide. You can ask me anything.
And you notice that we have avionics system. It's not Romania, but it looks pretty good. And I can interact with this one. I can actually have a look and see what's going on here. And let's say, do you like it, or should we switch it to an F16? Let's go to an F16. So not only do we rely on AI, we can immediately change as humans everything we want. Let's say we like that, we publish that, we save it. Okay, so now we can start the course. So all I have to do is to click on start. We'll put it here.
Hello. This is an experience of introduction to avionics systems.
And we have a pretty big aircraft here. Let me just make it a bit.
Next, I will explain to you about communication radio.
You can see that it generated a number of things here. I can read about navigation systems.
Begin by exploring the fundamentals of avionics systems and components, focusing on their integration and functionality. Understand the role of power systems in maintaining operational efficiency. Transition to display systems.
And it will take me through a number of steps. It will take me through step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. It's a 1-hour lesson that was generated in less than 1 minute. Okay, so we're gonna see a little bit more details later, but I think that kind of gives you an orientation around this technology. Okay, so on that note, let's look at what's new now that you understand the background. So let's have a look at the first one, and this is all about how I can take any model and ensure that it identifies all the components. In order to do a real simulation, right, you need to understand what you have in front of you. Not only which components is what, but what do they do. And up to now, until recently, EON had 36 million assets like this, but only about 10% had annotations, because it used to take us half an hour to 45 minutes to create the annotation. Plus, you need to have an expert that actually knows what that specific thing, which was a huge issue and time consuming. With this version that we just released today, all our 36 million assets are generated by AI. And that enables you to do a number of things. We are talking about simulators. So we are talking about one type of simulator, and I showed you this type of simulator here. This one is the aircraft simulator, right? Or let me take you to a creative simulator. You have an engine, a V8, and you have to optimize it. And now you have to come up with a new engine with certain parameters. There's no right and wrong, right? You have to be creative. And how do you integrate that creative simulator? We can do that. And there's Explorer Simulator. You want to explore the solar system, right? How do you explore that? So we have 4 simulators here that are coming around. Okay. One-click creation. Let's say I got the AI to do stuff for me, but I don't like what I see. I want something different. Okay.
Mount Everest, the Earth's highest peak, stands at 8,848 meters. Located in the Himalayas, it straddles the border between Nepal and Tibet Autonomous Region of China.
So now I say, I don't like this. I want something different.
Let's describe the 360 environment you want to create.
I'd like to be in an open, quiet, clean beach with a massive sand castle right in front of me.
About 10 seconds later, voila. You are in Laguna Beach, California, and there's a massive sandcastle in front of you.
In the middle of outer space, with many planets and spaceships around.
Your kids don't have to imagine. They can do it. Be creative. Now, this is cool, but someone thinks in the back of their mind, yeah. But what's that to do with my thing, right? So let me talk about something specific. Let's say you want to create an application for heart anatomy. So I click heart anatomy. It generates the application, exactly what I showed you a second ago. And I look at it, so it looks, oh my God, it looks so boring. Look at what this here. And I don't like the library.
Include details like the settings, mood, colors, objects, or specific features you'd like included.
So I want to change the library. I want to change the
I would
heart.
like to have an open space heart surgery lab.
And I want to change everything. The 2D, the 3D. One click. Everything changed. Okay, so then someone thinks, okay, that's still theoretical. What if I am president of Singapore and the minister of education? He said, we don't want you to present this in a generic environment. We want you to present this in our environment with our machineries. This is what happened.
Explain about the hoisting rope and all components it is connected to.
Their elevator with their data. So what does that mean? It means that if you have we just signed a contract with Emirates Steel, we signed a contract with Roche, we are in talks with automobile companies. In your case, in Kenya, we work with Kenya Airlines. They want to do their things, right? Not generic things, not AI things. So what we can do now with one click is put their data. Be very specific. So that's the beauty of what you're saying right there. Okay, so now let's switch gears to something fun. Okay, so this one is called the Teach Mentor. So a lot of people look at this and are fearsome. So let me explain the concept first.
Welcome to the future of learning. Imagine education that's immersive and tailored just for you. Introducing Smart Reality, a revolutionary app that transforms your course materials into dynamic, interactive experiences instantly.
Hello, I'm your Smart Reality mentor. What would you like to learn about today?
I'd like to learn about jet engines.
Great choice. Let's dive into the world of jet engines.
Please explain how all those components work together.
So instead of a user interface, you clone yourself. So let me clone myself now. And by the way, if you want to talk with me, you can 24/7 at on our webpage. And it's let's see how he responds. This gentleman. There we go. I'm gonna ask
Dan Bayerska. It seems like you're gearing up to ask something. I'm all ears. What's on your mind?
My question to you is about give me the three phases of artificial intelligence: phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. What's going to happen in the next 8 years?
Phase 1 is where we are now, AI as a tool. It analyzes data, automates tasks, and supports decision making, but it's still dependent on human input. Phase 2, which we're entering, is AI as a collaborator. Here, AI becomes more intuitive, engaging in real-time conversations, recognizing environments, and even creating, think of it as a co-pilot for creativity and problem solving. Phase 3, by the end of this decade, will be AI as an autonomous innovator. It will not only assist, but also anticipate needs, adapt to complex systems, and drive breakthroughs in ways we can't yet fully imagine.
So we are past the uncanny valley. There's a term in the geeks know, but it's kind of human-like, but it's kind of creepy. It's close, but it makes you repulsive. So that's why they don't do a lot of movies. But now it's getting there with respect to voice, that it's very human-like. And I think human voice is very important for empathy and other things. One thing that people ask about, so you saw that we have a 360 bubble, but what's next after that? So we all know about...
I want to show you something insane that's currently in development in the world.
Okay, so let me just stop there. So what you see here is a 2D image that's generated based on a prompt, and this you see a 3D environment. So there's a number of companies. We work with 32 companies to achieve what you just saw previously. We work with our own technology, then we license a number of technologies from Google, from others. And this is called World Lab. It's a Stanford professor called Fei-Fei Li. Google has a technology called Genie 2. And what are we doing now? And this is the next release. It's not released now. You have to give us a month or two. Is the ability to create fully immersive worlds. So fully realistic avatars, fully realistic voices, fully realistic 3D environments, multiple avatars, hard skills, soft skills. And we are not talking years, we are talking now.
Hello everyone, welcome and thank you for having me here today. Today we're going to talk about something important. We're going to talk about the future of education. Imagine that we could educate 1 billion people that don't have access to affordable education today. Imagine that we can provide job opportunities for all of them. It sounds like science fiction, but actually it is reality. Today, I want to talk to you about smart reality and some of the new features that we're bringing to market. My name is Rikard Steiber. I am the co-founder of Smart Reality. I have a long background and passion around education. I started out my career with Google as a global marketing executive. I've been leading HTC's virtual reality efforts, providing spatial computing and education. I've been working with leading media companies, educating kids around the world about new technology. And today I also spent a lot of time with AI, right? Just wrote a book about AI, but also AI avatars and how you can use AI for education. I believe that education is the way to make dreams reality. One of my dreams was always to go into space. And I studied a lot to learn about space. Eventually, I signed up with Virgin Galactic to go into space. And I want to share with you what ignited my passion. Here we go.
3, 2, 1, release, release, release.
If you ever dreamed of exploring beyond, welcome to the new space age.
I think we all agree that going into space is an exciting dream. But our dream with Smart Reality is to educate 1 billion people who don't have access to education today. people who don't have the capabilities to get the job that they should to support their families and protect their future. Looking at the market today, we can see that online learning is on fire. Through the distribution of mobile phones, internet connections, people are now learning online. And the most exciting opportunity where we can make the biggest impact towards that 1 billion people is in the global South. South America, Africa, Middle East, and of course, Asia Pacific. The problem today is that traditional education is failing both learners and employers. Today, if we look at education, it is really difficult for someone who already has a job, has a family, to go to traditional education because they don't have the time, they don't have the money, and there may not even be an educational institution close to where you live. Second thing is, traditional education is very, very expensive. Even some of the online educations are very expensive. So normal people may not even afford to have the education. And finally, the education may not be what the employers need today. Today, jobs change really fast, and the traditional education do not provide the education that are needed for those jobs. We see that if you have the right skill set, you're much more likely to get a job, regardless if this is a traditional education or even a professional certificate or diploma. Looking at what's happening in the market today, we can see that the job market is changing very, very quickly. There are new jobs that are becoming very, very attractive. There are jobs that are going away. Today, if you are an expert in AI, you have a great future. If you are a data entry person, your future is not so great. So it's not just new people coming into the market that needs new skills and capabilities. It's also the current workforce that needs to get new skills to switch or advance in their current job. So what is needed today is a skill-focused online learning destination powered by both AI and XR to deliver new opportunities. And that is what we try to do with Smart Reality. Let me explain. Our focus is to prepare online learners for in-demand jobs on the market. It doesn't matter if you are a newly graduate looking for a job, if you're someone who's looking to switch career, or if you're someone looking to advance your career to get a promotion. With Smart Reality, we will offer you three things. Professional certificates that will help you get the job that you want, regardless if it is hard skills, soft skills, or digital skills that are required for that job. We will also provide you with an AI tutor that is the best teacher that you can get, that is an expert on your learning style, that is an expert on the skill that you're trying to learn. We will also provide you with a new pedagogic XR and AI methodology that will help you learn much faster. So connecting learners with the right kind of skill diplomas so that they can get the jobs that they need. In addition, it is really difficult. It's really difficult for employers to upskill their current workforce, but also to know if their newly hired has the skills that are needed. Therefore, we are also working very closely with companies, institutions, governments to make sure that you have the right job certificates from the right brands so that it is easy for those learners to find those job certificates and prove to the employers that they have the skills that they're needed. Let's look at an example. John Doe, a web developer. He may or may not have the right traditional education, but he loves web design. And he got a web developer certificate from Google, a well-established brand in the online community. This certificate didn't take him 3 years to get. It took him 6 months to get, but it gives him the skills to be an effective web developer. And also, it is certified by Google, which not only makes him attracted to Google, but also to thousands of other companies. So the solution that Smart Reality is bringing to the market is a personalized, career-focused education powered by both AI and XR, with some unique gamification elements that make you addicted not to games, but to learning. The Smart Reality solution essentially have 3 components: attractive courses and certificates, an AI faculty that enhance learning, and some really outstanding one-to-one AI learning tools. And thirdly, an XR visualization and engagement platform that will make you learn hard and soft skills like never before. Let me give you some examples. The most important thing when you come to Smart Reality is to create your profile. Your profile is both who you are today, what are the skills that you have, but also what are your career ambitions? What are the things that you think you want to learn? What are the career opportunities that you are excited about? And based on this Pathfinder methodology, we will provide you with the relevant courses and diplomas and skills that you need to progress in your career. So the second thing that is really important is to provide you with a good selection of quality, hard, soft, and digital skills that you can take in an affordable way, in an easy way, so that you can get the career that you're looking for. Throughout these courses, we will provide you with an AI faculty that is there, speaks your language, is there 24/7, and is an expert on how you want to learn. It can talk to you as if you are a PhD at Stanford, or it could talk to you as you're just learning something new. We have an exciting business model that makes it easy for you to start or have your experience funded by the government, your faculty, or your company. When you go through each of these lessons, you can either have a pre-recorded expert faculty, or you could have an AI faculty teaching the course. We have embedded the best and most exciting gamification elements. Imagine those things that previously made you addicted to games, they are now going to make you addicted to education. Imagine the streaks. It's going to be a little bit of a carrot and a little bit of a stick, but it's going to make you excited about education. Smart Reality also have a new innovative AI learning tool. A tool where you can train the AI to be an expert on any course that you have. Just upload the book, a PDF with the latest chapter, a link to your video lecture, or record your video lecture. And based on this, your AI tutor will be able to provide you not only with excellent notes and summaries, it will help you prepare for the exam, and it will also be able to create XR experiences where you can get hands-on experience on any topic that you are interested in. The XR visualizations are exceptional for more engagement and faster learning of both hard skills and soft skills. You can learn how to repair an elevator or how to interact with customers. Lessons have a guided AI avatar that will take you through the experience so that you will be learning faster, and we'll also test you so that you actually know what to do. You can create these experiences with just one click on any topic that you are interested in. This is not something new. Already today, tens of millions of learners have used this methodology. We have deployed it across 80 different locations and proven that you will learn 4 times faster using our AI XR methodology. It's not just that you learn faster, but you also become much more confident. And we have proven that for governments, for educational institutions, and for companies, you can reduce the cost of training your learners. So why now? Well, let me tell you, there's a global demand for online skills education. There is new technology advances when it comes to both AI and XR that makes it much more suitable for education. We have this global skills gap that needs to be closed, and it can only be closed by online education. And we see this big cultural shift where people actually want to have much more personalized education and want to do things online. We know that people are now connected to the internet through mobile phones and computers, and the latest convergence when it comes to XR and AI makes all of this available. So, in closing, we believe that smart reality will be a big leap for 1 billion learners. So thank you so much, and hope you enjoy the rest of the day. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
So over the years, EON has been working quite intensely in this field, and we've done it in many locations. We started with Imperial College, Carnegie Mellon, etc. We've been doing work for the top Fortune 500 companies. We've been working, I personally probably met more than hundreds of ministers over the years that have adopted this technology, right? We have even a vehicle we call spatial artificial centers that can go into a nation and deliver 10,000 courses, full platforms. Singapore, the place that you are here, ITE, has delivered this. In fact, they have labs that if we have time, we can visit. So you're going to see Experience Lab. They have about 212 labs, and they spent literally, I think, $3 billion to equip those labs 10 years ago. It's very expensive to equip them again. So they are using now our technology to basically create digital twins of the physical equipment and accelerate that into the future. And the idea is to digitalize, right? This is equipment, physical equipment that they bought 10 years ago. They can't afford to do it again always, so they have the ability now to do training, to do
Train and perform using EON XR at ITE College Central.
So basically using those type of technologies for different things. So we brought a lot of people here, and ITEs that hosts this have also collaborated with various governments, from Brunei's Sultan to Princess of Thailand to President of Panama. And this infrastructure that you see, these labs, are now digitalized. And together with Singapore, we also went to places like India. And there we set up a center in Odisha. And this center is now, we started with 1,000 users, and now we can scale it to 170,000 users that are in the region. In fact, the students from Odisha were awarded by the Prime Minister of India. I'm going to spend a lot of time in India. In fact, we signed in December our first contract for 1 million licenses. So that shows that this is real, right? This is becoming larger. And Rikard was talking about the link between, let's say, education and industry. So we also are now in an agreement with CII. CII is the Federation of Indian Industries, and to cross-pollinate, so people that get to an education actually gets a placement. And in December, I had the great honor to meet this gentleman launching, because India is quite ambitious in terms of launching the next generation education. They are publishing almost 50 million books, and they have 265 million students. So we are now running pilots to take 88 million of these students and onboard them in what we call adaptive learning. So it's happening, it's real, and it is scalable, affordable. We talk about Africa. We've been in Africa for many years. In fact, rolling this out in South Africa to literally tens of thousands of students. We've seen the same development in places like Ethiopia. Colombia, places like Vietnam, you saw. So Romania or Morocco, or the list goes on and on and on. So we are, even China now is becoming, we are non-political, so we think we can help all nations because we believe knowledge is a human right, and we want to make it available, accessible, and affordable. So that kind of sets the tone for the future. Okay, so now we'll leave the present and enter to the future. So a couple of things that I want to share with you. Let me start first with looking what's going to happen, what I think is going to happen. So I think we are in a very interesting phase. If you look at the last million years since Homo erectus, when we took our first tools, we are all blessed in not only this room, it's the first generation in human history that will experience the birth of a new species. And it's happening right now. And today we are in a situation between 2020, goes back to your question, 2025 to 2028, where we basically, AI automates a significant portion of traditional jobs and will displace some people. Now, my focus is what we can do for humanity. How can this not render us useless? How can this empower us? And I firmly believe that rightly used, this Human 2.0 is about allowing us to grow beyond our human constraints. Man and machine together will be stronger. These will be things that work for us. Eventually, they will become our children, this new species. And we will have a couple of choices down the road, which I'll come to in a second. But for now, we are in the pre-AGI era. So what I see is that agents are dominating. You've seen agents today, right? You've seen that these agents are quite smart. It helps us augment us. And our focus is to learn, train, perform for future skills, right? And our role is to make sure that if some jobs will be automated, some will be enhanced. If you're a taxi driver, eventually that job will go away. Precisely like the job of, I don't know, being in the Wild West and riding horses or stuff like that. It's changed, right? But many jobs will be enhanced. So that's going to be our purpose. How help human transition to this period. The next period here is AGI, or artificial general intelligence. And that's when, it's AI is smart as, let's say, the middle level worker. And eventually it will outperform humans in many tasks. So what's our role when it starts to outperform us in most tasks? Our role is to elevate ourselves. We become purpose directors. We'll become orchestrators. We are defining the purpose of what's going to happen. It's an interesting phase because while this will be very disruptive, but once you enter this space, eventually the prosperity will be forced to transpire throughout the population. So eventually we will all have not a universal basic salary, we'll have a universal basic AI. And this AI will do things for us. But I think most people, and what we need to prepare our kids, I prepare my little one, is what's your purpose? Is your purpose to explore the universe, cure cancer, take care of the climate change, or whatever, spiritual journey into yourself, helping communities with elder? Purpose becomes very important. Okay? So our role in this space is to learn, train, perform for purpose. Assist individuals in identifying, implementing their purpose. And how do we want to talk today? Obviously, we focus a lot on this today because that's our problem, but we start with kids. We're doing hackathons in India for tens of thousands of students where you can start dreaming about their purpose. And then there's a phase 3. Normally, I avoid talking about phase 3 because that's when most people step off the train and think I'm crazy. So, but the reason I, for myself, have to think about phase 3 is because I have a young child and I don't want to dedicate my life, work 10 hours, 12 hours a day, just to discover 8 years from now that I was the one contributing to make his life useless. So I need to think, at least for myself, when I look myself in the mirror in the night, I know that I'm doing the right thing. And I'm going to share with you my vision of what's phase 3. So here's my simple vision. Today, we have AI agents. We will have AI workers. And eventually, we'll have AI titans. What I mean by that is like, remember the one that did Go? Play Go, and first he was almost as good as human, and then he beat us at Go, and then continue. So it will not stop when we reach human level intelligence. It will just continue. So when that happens, we will have choices. And it kind of boils down to a multitude of choices, but to keep it simple, probably 3 choices. Choice 1 is to just enjoy life. Enjoy the prosperity, the productivity, which will translate into better life, less work, less stress, spending more time in nature to whatever we enjoy, and not necessarily have the drudgery of only 8 hours in an office. Maybe you work a couple of hours, maybe you don't work at all. But you want to continue to be human, and you don't give up on the future, but you don't necessarily care about that. You find some peace and harmony. That's option 1. People like me that have ADD and can't sleep and will not have really that option, that I think a lot of people will struggle with that option because we were taught for purpose. Our identity is linked with work, right? That's how we find respect. And so some of us will decide to integrate. What's integrate? Integrate is, we have always integrated a little bit today with the phone, right? I mean, that's what I'm saying. 30% of your cortex is in the phone. But integrate, I really mean integrate now. I mean, I don't mean Neuralink, where you have to insert something in your brain. What I mean by integrate is that you have a non-invasive brain computer interface where you can actually start to understand things that your physical brain that has a physical space cannot understand. I mean, it's impossible because you have just so many brain cells, and this AI is so smart. And the understanding will allow us to contribute and set the tone and guidance to our children, because the way I'm looking at this AI is our children. So that's one. There is another phase, which I call liberate. Liberate instead of integrate. What's that? But I strongly believe that there will be choices to, if you can't beat enjoyment, right? Because what happens is, if you have such a power, imagine that you are super intelligence and you've been born in this little speck of planet in a remote solar system, a remote galaxy, which is a part of a huge billions of galaxy and probably billions of universes, if you believe in multiverse, right? Would you then decide to just stay put? No, you want to explore, right? You want to discover. You are curious. And our children will be very curious. So then we have a choice. We can join them. We can join them, and there will be an opportunity to upload yourself. I know it sounds strange. And I know that some people that believe in God and soul and etc. No, the soul will be there. It's the same thing. It's just that you're perfectly comfortable to have an arm that's made of titanium or run 100 meters. It's a bit, and if I take one brain cell and I tell you that I'll replace one brain cell with a transistor, that's exactly the same. Input, output, the same thing. But now we just multiply that. So it's going to happen. And yeah, some people of us will be liberated and integrated. Anyway, so from this, which is very esoteric, I try to be very practical. So if I know that this is going to happen, not in 100 years, not in 50 years, but in less than 6,000 days, less than 7-8 years, will you change your mind about what you do tomorrow? Yes, you will, right? So I have to think and calculate backwards. So the products you saw today were all beautiful, but very technical, very like nuts and bolts. So now I'll tell you what we need to do short term, and midterm and long term. So let's accelerate. So today, developed countries and infrastructure, NVIDIA, Microsoft, that's what the value is. You heard about DeepSeek, right? DeepSeek is coming with something that's almost free, almost. So the value will go now from, let's say, developed countries and infrastructure. The value and from LLMs will go up in the footprint to global south and value apps. That people will look for apps. So what happens is a contraction between frontier models and open source, which then squeezes out the value. People are interested in value. They're not interested in LLMs, SLMs, anything like that. We all have a choice. I think Q1 2025, that's where we are. We are at the AI cliff. So up to now, there was not a big difference if you use AI every day. But now we are in a region where you actually, the difference between, by the end of this year, between the people that actually are, let's say, AI adopters full out and the ones that are not, it's like night and day. I mean, you will not be able to be competitive. Forget about it. It's not popular. You need to think, where is our strength, right? Because I was saying about augmented humans, not the private humans, right? My programmers, my team members, that some of them are here, they will become more important, not less. So programming, yes, programming will diminish in value. This is relevant score, right? So we'll go from 75% to 45%. We'll go from, but they will be now orchestrated. They will basically have 30, 40, 50 people that are AI working for them. Emotional intelligence, creativity will be going into the green area, which is high relevance. So our human skills here will be actually much appreciated. There's jobs that will disappear, right? Taxi drivers, call centers, factory workers, data entry. I mean, things will vanish here. And it's the way it's always happened. It's nothing new. This happened during industrialism. And we will need to be mindful of the emotions when we go through such big change. So I think the emotional aspect is very important, right? Our goal is to create technologies that help humans and collaboration between AI. So for example, in the education sector, that means teachers will be always good at emotional support, mentorship, stuff like that, while AI tutors can be good at 24/7 practice, etc. So I don't believe that, I think that's going to be a good collaboration. In the interest of your time, I'll skip a lot of slides and now go very practical. So what EON is looking for, historically, we focused a lot on XR integration, but now we are moving the area of assessment on one side and job matching and mental support, an end-to-end solution. So what does that mean practically? So for example, skill gap analyzer, right? My name is Dan. I'm thinking about changing my career. I'm giving up I allow the new EON to analyze me, my profile, and it's going on LinkedIn. It finds all the information. It also listens to me what I want to do. So a full 360 assessment. Based on that, it finds my career. So now, let's say I want to do something with technical trades. I want to do something with electrical. I want to find the top courses. Now, we are not limited to EON. We are going for all Coursera. We are going for all the 65 companies that are our competitor today, or used to be our competitor. And we find their courses, we pay for them, and we transform them to 4 times faster learning. So in this case, I'm an electrician. I found my course. It signs on me for Coursera. Coursera is the best course in this case. I have an LT education. I get my certificate, and I get it converted to EON, so I learn 4 times faster. So it actually links me all the way, right? Now, also I get advice. What does that mean? So let's say, my name is Dan. Let's start. I am a programmer. Actually happen to be one. I would like to, let's say I'm an intermediate programmer. I'm saving my profile. So it's going to give me some suggestions of jobs available. in Portugal for that. I'm selecting one of these jobs that matches my interest. It allows me, okay, it gives me a couple of options. It also finds the job that best suits my interest. That happens to be Portugal. And it fixed me the interview. And by the way, in this case, there was a minimal gap. Many times there's a gap that I have to spend the next 12 weeks to learn things in order to get that. So this is not virtual reality. This is real reality. One more thing that's important is mental support. So as we move through this, let's say, I'm too old for this stuff. I don't want to do this. So can you help me? I get stuck. I'm trying this technology. I get stuck all the time. So I want to help you, but I need to understand more what you're struggling specifically with. My main problem is that, I don't know how to proceed, etc., etc. So what I said, I'm also not certain that I really want to be an electrician. All I want to do is fishing. So he said, thank you for sharing this honest reflection about your career. And you know what he did? He found me a marine electrician. So I'm going to be on a boat. He actually find me the job on the boat where I have 4 hours a day, fished all the way a day, and be an electrician my family. So he actually went through that. And so what I'm talking about is an end-to-end solution, right? Where you do assess, learn, simulate, certify, employ, boom, get your job. That's what we need to do. So I was just talking tomorrow, I have a presentation for, I think, future skills and others that I think that's the concept where AI can be very, very helpful because this transition will happen often, right? So we can play a role between those. Okay. So I think I'll, there's much more I could talk about, but you want to see something. Some of you came from long distance. It will be available. Actually, the first version, we are beta testing now with a group. We want to get, so quarter 2, we'll have full rollout. So the thing, I know that you are representative of syndicate of Romanian workers, right?
Yeah.
So here's the deal, right? So what we're doing now, for example, in India, they have the money, they have the students, but they want to pay for a placement. They don't want to pay for education that needs to lower. So what we're doing is we're going, teaming up with the Federation of Industries. They have 650,000 job openings. They say, if you certify this on this one, you'll get the job guaranteed. They guarantee a job. All we need to do is to use this technology to get them learn 4 times faster, and then we can enter this space. So you need to create a way that every morning AI gets better, you get happier. Got it? Okay, guys. So I know we have to be most patient. Sorry for my long monologue. The one that have time, there are people waiting. You're going to see some very exciting stuff. I want to thank you. I want to thank most of the people that are online. I know some were from Hawaii. I just got text message. Some are from Africa and other corners. Thank you so much. Join us for the future.